Hello everyone, and welcome to another gold making guide and episode, and I've just got some stuff to get out of the way first before we can actually get on with the video itself. So first off, some announcements. We've got the winner of the Sky Golem from last episode that I was handing out, and pause for dramatic effect, it is naz'grel. So I'm putting that name on the screen because I don't really know how to say it. You won the Sky Golem, buddy. Check your inbox for a personal message from me. Make sure that you can receive personal messages and everything. And I will have instructions on how you can go along, and I can hand you the Sky Golem so you can begin flying around. Okay, so I'm also going to be giving out 3 other prizes this episode. Basically, I will be talking a little bit more about that towards the end of the video. And they're not going to be nearly as big as the Sky Golem, but there are going to be 3 of them, and they might be a little bit cool for some of you guys to have some of those, so that's going to be a little bit of fun. And of course, now we have a sort of special video, and it's actually going to be probably a multi-part video, and I'm going to try to make it as kind of in-depth as I can, and really just good. And this is all because somebody asked me a question on Facebook, and this was from Rob Decker, so thank you to that guy, because he is responsible for this fantastic little thing that I am going to be making to try and help you guys make some more gold. So this is going to be about making gold with mining and jewel crafting, and it's going to be huge amounts of gold I'm talking here. So if you've got 600 mining and 600 jewel crafting, then it's time to make a lot of gold, and we're talking like from pauper to hey, let's go buy a mechano hog kind of gold here. Alright, so it's going to be at least 2 parts, so make sure to be subscribed. And I have also put the gold making guides in a playlist that should be on the channel to try and make it a much easier for you guys to see all the gold making stuff, because I know that a lot of people have been having trouble with that. And if you have any ideas on how I can make it easier for you guys to find more videos on the channel, let me know so that I can make that easier for you. Now let's get on with the actual video and stop blabbering on. Let's go make some gold. Let's go make lots of gold. So, first up, we're going off on a mining expedition for half an hour, and you will see the little timer on the side there, ticking away and keeping track of the time. This happens to be in the Valley of the Four Winds, and it isn't a bad farming spot, but the main reason I chose it was because I didn't want to fly anywhere else, and I happened to be standing in the Vale. Now, you'll want to concentrate around the mountains in this area for the most part, because that's where the majority of the ore is. So I did this for half an hour and got 339 ghost iron ore, 7 white trillium ore, and some random stuff that we won't be counting now, seeing as this is focusing around jewel crafting, and we're going to look at the prospecting values to get an estimate of how much gold we will be making. So for the ghost iron ore, we have a prospect value of 8,210 gold, and the white trillium is 264 gold, for a total of 8,474 gold in half an hour. So per hour, that's about 16,948 gold. I didn't count any silver or copper, I didn't round it up or anything, I just sort of took the silver and copper and said, go away, and banished it from the realms of mathematics. These are all estimates, and there are so many variables, so I would not pay too much attention to this number, as it is just an estimate. But this expedition will work out being quite profitable for us. Next up, we head on over to our jewel crafter. Alrighty, so we're on our jewel crafter. Unfortunately, I've been a little bit lazy, so he doesn't have the greatest amount of recipes, but he has got a few. Now, first off, one of the things that's been kind of messing with the averages that we've been looking at before, in terms of that gold estimate right there, would be these serpent's eyes and these sparkling shards. I wouldn't pay much attention to them. We will be looking at some things you can do using those at a later time, but for the moment, I wouldn't really worry about them. They aren't absolutely amazing. They're there so that you can use them for your jewel crafting specialized gems for the most part, and we can get with something you can do with those at a later date. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing is just prospecting all of this stuff and having a look at what we get. Alrighty, so we've gone and we've prospected all of that ore, and we've got it all nicely into little raw gems and everything. We're going to go and cut that. And of course, one of the problems that we will have noticed before is that that price with the average amount of money that we'd be getting for prospecting the ore was way inflated because of these serpent's eyes. And you can craft things using the serpent's eyes, but they sell very slowly, so technically you would be getting a bit more gold than we will be getting, but we're not really gonna bother with them in this episode, mainly because they take forever to sell. But you can make quite a bit more gold, or at least a little bit more gold, by cutting those serpent gems into, rings and such, and trying to sell those or disenchanting those and everything. But we're not talking too much about that. What we're mainly going to focus on now is we're going to be cutting up the gems, the main gems that we have. Only the rare gems, uncommon ones you don't want to cut, not at the moment anyway, just leave them alone. The cut uncommons don't tend to sell at all. You'll be selling them raw, and you'll be trying to cut the rare gems for the most part. And if you are lacking in recipes, remember to be using the research to get more and more recipes, which is always fantastic. And then what we're going to be doing for the main part is trying to split the gems. So for example, if we have 3 green gem recipes, okay, and we have 6 green gems, we can have 2 of each of those different cuts or whatever. And the main thing is you want to just try and split it so that you can get more of an even split. It's more important as you're dealing with more and more ore and getting more and more gems, because obviously if you've got 100 of one gem cut, it's going to take forever for that to sell, rather than if you had that split across 5 different gem cuts. Though you can try and shift the weights towards a gem that sells particularly well, or that sells for a particularly large amount of gold. So you can shift it around a little bit, get the most out of it, but you can also just try and split it so that you can get things selling quickly and going and moving on, so that you can get the gold and then go and get some ore and then go and do some more stuff and all of that great stuff. So now we're going to go and cut all of these gems, and then we will be moving on to our auction house tune. So we're going to cut all of these up and send them across to our auction guy. Alrighty, bada bing, bada boom, we've got everything in my Bankolt's mailbox. This is in fact my Bankolt, he's a little undead rogue looking all stylish like in his mechano hog. And our bags are pretty much full. We got the rest of it in the mailbox. And basically what I wanted to talk about a little bit more were these uncommon gems. Okay, now there are a couple more things you can do with these, because of course you have a lot of them. I mean, just look at these bags, that's a lot of uncommon gems. So you have a couple of things you can do with these. You can turn them into meta gems, and you can either sell those raw, or you can cut them and then you can also sell those. Or you can turn them into rings, and you can either sell the ring themselves, or you can disenchant the ring, or you can sell them raw. So what you'll probably want to do is actually do a combination of all of those things, because you have a lot of them, and I mean a lot of them. So you don't want to burden down any particular one thing. If you try and sell them all raw, unless you're on some kind of massive server that's just it eats raw uncommon gems for breakfast and just gobbles them up like cereal or something. Unless you're in a server like that, honestly, I doubt you're going to be able to move so many uncommon gems at any rate. But what you can do is you can use some of the uncommon gems to make meta gems, and you can sell those. You can use some of them to make rings, and maybe have 4 or 5 rings or something that you've got on the auction house, and they'll slowly sell over time. And then you can make some more rings and maybe get a friend to disenchant them for you. Try not to burden them down, because of course, or even if you're paying them, maybe you can get them to disenchant them for you. You can sell the mats, or you can use that to make enchants, which you can sell, or which you can use to, use on your characters themselves. And basically what you really want to do is sort of split things. But another thing you can do with these uncommon gems is you can try to cut them. And then sometimes you'll get a perfect cut, which will basically be the same as the rare quality gem being cut. And I find that you may or may not want to do this. It depends on where you are. Some servers, the perfect gems, you pop them on the auction house and they will sell. Just normally you put them on the auction house and they sell, right? You might not always, there's no way you're going to get perfect gems every time. But it'll also help to kind of unload the uncommons a little bit. If they're not perfect, honestly, I wouldn't even bother listing them, because they're probably not going to sell. But on other servers, like my one, which is quite a small server, if you try and post the things as the perfects, they generally won't sell at all. You'll need to post rares in order for them to sell. So what I would suggest doing, if you don't know, is to go and cut some of these uncommon gems, just a few, have some perfects, list them in the auction house, and see, A, if it's profitable. I mean, if the perfects on the auction house are way too low a price, then obviously you might not want to do that. But if they don't sell, then you know I won't be cutting any more perfect gems or any more uncommon gems, trying to get perfects. I'm not going to do that again, obviously a waste of time. If they do sell, You can make a few more, post in the auction house. It's all good, it's all fine, it's all lovely, it's all dandy and fantastic. And that's pretty much what you're going to be doing with your uncommon gems, trying to split things, and you want to kind of put out feelers. You don't want to try and overwhelm any particular market. If meta gems aren't being very profitable on your server, maybe someone's out there just making meta gem prices stupidly low, then you probably don't want to turn them into meta gems. But you have other avenues that you can explore, that you can use for your fantastic uncommon gems, because damned, you have a lot of them. And if all else fails, sell them raw. And let's go and talk about some of the prizes now. I've got in my bank over there, you can see the Sky Golem. It's chilling. It'll be handed out soon, don't you worry. And then we've got these three things. They're not nearly as big as the Sky Golem was. It's quite a hefty price, but these are much smaller ones. I got 3 of them. I'm giving out 1 in the comments section below, 1 on Facebook, and 1 on Twitter. So you can go on and tweet me on Twitter or post some posts on my Facebook page. There are links to those things in the description, or you can just post something in the YouTube comments, and 1 will be going to each of those. So if you post on all of those 3, then you're probably going to get something, or you might get something. The chances will increase. So yeah, that's always good. And that's pretty much everything I want to cover in this part of this jewel crafting and mining kind of thing that was inspired by those fantastic questions. So remember to send in those questions. And now we will be moving on to the next part, which is how do we move these things? We go and we post in the auction house and they just don't sell. Why aren't they selling? And now we're going to go and have a look at how you can get these gems to sell, you can get your money, and you can be all rich and living it up in the world of Warcraft. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you find this gold making series helpful, and of course subscribe for more videos in the series, and I should have a playlist in the description somewhere with a little link to a playlist so that you can have all of the gold making episodes there. I know a lot of people were having a lot of trouble finding them, so that has been done, and now it should be a lot easier. Cheerio!